Buchanan guy on Trib Live Radio, the 2013 Pirates guy, winning games late, winning series late, and getting home late, too. Did so last night, but we're thrilled that Clint Hurdle would get up early with us and join us, coming back home to PNC Park. Clint, good morning.
Good morning.
What time did you finally hit the sack, Clint?
4 o'clock.
Oh, we really appreciate you getting up to come on.
Well, I didn't get up for you. I got up for my kids. I just kind of stayed up for you. So let's keep things in a proper perspective.
Okay. Will do. How do you like this the series? I'll be totally honest with you. I'm in the dark over the weekend. I thought you guys were playing 4 in Detroit. I didn't know that the 2 were back here, and a lot of the teams are doing that. Do you like the home-and-home hockey does that sometimes?
Well, nobody asked me. I do enjoy playing a team for more than one shot and going, rather than a 2-game series then and then playing, a month from now. So get the 4 right out on the table. You prep for them for 2 games. You might as well play the 4. You get to see all 4 of their starters. You get to know the ball club much better. So when we face them in the playoffs, we'll have a much better read on it.
Clint, your team is 6-0 when Junmar Gomez starts. What a performance yesterday. What did you expect when you had to insert Junmar into the starting rotation, and what's been really effective for him?
Well, his number one, when we got him, I don't think there was a bunch of people shooting off a bunch of trumpets around here from my remembrance when we picked up Junmar. We was a guy that we just thought could have a good bounce back, kind of like, not to the degree Burnett did, and not that we project Liriano to do, but this is a guy we thought had some skills that would play better in the National League than he had in the American League. He was at an age we liked. We felt their environment and the pitching program we got in place to help him make some steps forward. So he's done it. He's sinking the ball very well to both sides of the plate. The sliders come into play for some right-handers. He backfoots it, backdoors it to left-handers. He throws the changeup. Ball's down, quick outs, ground balls. He's been very efficient. He's done a very professional job for us and kind of reignited his career.
Clint, as this team has continued to improve since you got here, do you notice that kind of game last night, 2 or 3 years ago, you might have lost. The run production from the 5th, 6th inning on compared to early in the games. Have you noticed just a general confidence level with your guys, later in games that they're not out of it, that that they've come back so many times that, has the attitude changed?
It has. It's been a process, and guy says, how do you get good judgment? Our team shows better judgment now late games than it did the first year I was here, the second year, and obviously the years before that. But how do you get good judgment? Through experience. How do you get experience? Through bad judgment. We've learned some things together. By playing the game. How do you stay in the games? What do you got to do to stay in games? What do you got to do to get starters out of games? What do you got to do when you get to the bullpen? How do you win one-run games? All of that has come into play. The veteran leadership has come into play. Our own guys, whether it be McCutcheon or Pedro or Walker, are growing up together. The addition of Martin this year has been big, a push forward all over the place, as AJ was for us last year. Martin's been fantastic. To have Wandy for the full season, Liriano for the time of the season we're going to have him. And of course, to have Marte at the top of the lineup, those things kind of just jumped out at me right away. Some of the bigger differences, why we're playing better, why we're finishing better, and why we believe that we're going to just continue to work to get a little bit better every day and finish the season off strong.
Pirates manager Clint Hurdle, our guest. Clint, not only did you get Jason Grilli to strike out the side of the heart of the Tigers' order to close it, Justin Wilson had to navigate that same part of the Detroit batting order on his second inning. How tough of a decision was it for you to send him back out there for his second, and what's he meant to you? He really, his numbers are as good as anybody's in the National League.
Well, his numbers are, the numbers say one thing and they're good, but if you watch him live with your eyes, it says another. There's just power there. Right-handed hitters that hit left-handed pitching have not taken good swings against him. It's not that hard. It seems to be a little harder for everybody else because certain guys seem to have to pitch all the time for us, and we've got to find some other guys to pitch in the 8th inning, whether it be Watson, whether it be Mazzaro, whether it be Wilson. we've got 32 saves, and 22 of them, or 21 from Grilly, one's from Melanson. You got to find a different combination because that's not a pace you want to keep your two guys on. I think Melanson's been in 27, 28 games now. We've played 52, 53 games. We've got to ratchet that number down. Grilly's about half. So we've got to find more offense at times. We're going to add to those late inning guys. But Wilson, I don't have any problems. I'm trying to give him just little bites as we go. Last night was another small bite in a different type of the game, which was a high-leverage situation. He's responded wonderfully. Just a much different kid than you saw pitching for us in September last year.
Well, the Pirates have had some closers in the past, Clint. I mean, they've gotten the job done. I think back about 10 years ago, a guy like Mike Williams, but he always seemed to make it an adventure in the ninth inning. Even Joe Hanrahan. Jason Grilly is as clean as it gets. And I mean, your intake of Rolaids is probably way down. He doesn't fool around at all.
Well, no, he's been very efficient, and I don't do Rolaids, and I don't get on the top step, and I don't go around running around. They're going to do what they're going to do. You know, it's out of my hands. I made the decision. He's in the game. Sit back and enjoy the ride. That's what I tell him. When it gets a little shaky sometimes, what I do is I don't watch. What best advice I got was from one of my former major league mentors, my manager mentor. He just said, hey, we were help Jorge De La Rosa find his way back before he got very good. And it was just, he was spraying the ball all over the place, and I'm gyrating, and I'm pacing, and he finally called me in after the game. He goes, you walked 3 miles in the dugout last night. And I said, yeah, he goes, hey, just don't watch. Just don't watch. It'll be okay. He'll figure it out. So sometimes I don't watch. But Grilly's been efficient. He's been effective. The stuff has played up. He was able to go back to, a place where he learned to be a reliever, and as the boys were chanting to him in the clubhouse last night, he struck out Murder's Row.
Yeah.
So they had some fun with it. Hopefully they'll get some rest, and we'll come back and we'll play a pretty spirited ball game tonight.
That's also 21 times now, Clint. He's put the catcher in a headlock after the save is complete. Are you okay with that? He's having fun with it.
It was one of the more vigorous times he did. I'm good with all of that. I'm good with whatever they believe in doing and whatever they want to do. We got the Shark Tank's going to be in the clubhouse when we get back. And guys are asking me, is it appropriate? You know what? They're grown men that need to act like boys once in a while, and we need to have some fun with everything we do because it continually gets brought to the attention, how much this means or how do you rank this, how do you rank that. Play the game, have some fun. If it goes to the knockout punch, if him and Martin start scrapping through one of those, we might have to call a timeout.
Well, Clint, you're in a stretch here where you're facing a lot of opposing right-handed pitchers. And maybe this isn't all that rare, but it looks like maybe 3 or 4 weeks here until you face a lefty. Does it change any of the way you structure the lineup? Is it a good stretch for guys like Snyder and Jones, and maybe bad for a couple other guys?
Well, no. It all depends on who the guys are. As you saw in Milwaukee, there's different ways to dig up these stats and how you want to put your lineup together, but I've got some guys that Gabby Sanchez does a really good job against some right-handed pitchers. There's some guys that Jones doesn't have a lot of success against. Milwaukee was a perfect example, Gallardo and Estrada are good matchups for our left-handers. We set Snyder, we set Jones different times. We got Sanchez in. Sanchez has a history hitting Gallardo better. So we'll just look at it as we move forward, what makes sense. Nobody's going to sit for too long. I got to get some at-bats, and if a guy gets hot, obviously it's hard to take him out. But you pay attention. Our club, our success has really been part of the guys all getting work, staying sharp, so when the ones don't start are able to come in and make a difference, and that's happened a lot for us this year, much more than any other year.
Clint is getting some work and staying sharp. Part of what is going on with Neil Walker right now. He missed the time with the stitches in his hand, got off to a little bit of a slow start, but for the last week now, he's really been hot.
There's not a guy that I've seen come back from the DL that's ever been hot. So that doesn't surprise me. He threw out that nice base hit to break, the bases loaded base hit to drive in a couple in the homestand, but it just takes time for rhythm and swing to come together. At home, it wasn't pretty. The swing was disconnected. It was two-part. He came out early in Milwaukee the first day. We talked a couple of things, and sometimes that worked, sometimes it didn't, but a couple thoughts he put into play that night, and he's been rolling ever since. So we wanted to bring that swing back home because it's been a swing with barrel involved. There's doubles, there's triples, there's homers. I think he's got more extra base hits in his road trip than he might have had up to that point in time in the season. So very good to see him impacting our offense, because there's times when he's as good an offensive second baseman as there is in the game.
Clint, it's a good problem to have, but you may have too many good starting pitchers on your hand here at some point. What happens in a month or so if Morton or Cole are ready to come up, but nobody's ready to come out of the rotation?
Stay tuned. Those are good problems to have, and I'm sure everybody will have a thought to share with us when we got to make those decisions. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Well, I understand it's May, Clint, but there are two teams with a better record than you, and they're both in your division. That's kind of crazy.
It's a good division is what that is, and that's the part of the game that, it happens from year to year in different places. There's always been arguments about the AL East being the best of, the strongest division in baseball, and who knows? It is May. We've played a little over 50 games. I do know that the Cardinals have a very good ball club. I do know that the Reds have a very good ball club. Somebody brought to my attention yesterday that the Tigers have a very good ball club. I agree across the board. I just keep reminding people, you know what? We really believe we have a pretty good ball club as well. So we'll take our chances when we play them.
Hey, Clint, before we let you go, of course, you were seen at the Red Wings game the other night. How big of a hockey fan are you, and how tough will it be if it becomes Penguins-Red Wings?
It'll be tough. I mean, I've been a Red Wings fan since I was a kid. I've been following the Wings since I was 5. I've been following the Tigers since I was 5. I've been following the Lions since I was 5. So I throw that out there. By the same token, I live in Pittsburgh. We wore the jerseys on the, for the victory tour for the Penguins here. We all represented. I did not have the Red Wings jersey on at the hockey game. I'm going to pull for the hometown boys. There's a part of me that will always root for the Red Wings. There's a part of me rooting for the Tigers when we don't play them. But I represent the city of Pittsburgh now. It's important to me to get behind and support our team. I loved what our guys did in honoring another group here. So it gets down to push come to shove. Danny's from Michigan. Ask Blausman who he's going to pull for. He's a Michigan boy too. He grew up loving the Wings.
Good point.